Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report with Mo Cassara. I'm Anthony Barra, joined by Mo Cassara, head coach of the Hofstra Pride men's basketball team. Coach, thanks for the time. How are you?
Anthony, how are you?
Doing okay, Coach, doing okay. You had 4 games this week, so we'll break them down one by one. Tuesday night, you were at home against a very talented FAU team. They beat you last year. You had a chance at redemption this year, but ultimately, you fall short. It was a close game coming right down to the wire, though.
Yeah, it sure was a close game. You know, a lot of credit to Florida Atlantic. They played a very, very good game, and we just didn't quite execute down the stretch. They made a tough shot at the end of the game, and we had a chance to win the game. We didn't execute quite the way we would like to down the stretch, but that's something that we're going to have to continue to work on.
Then you went out to Rhode Island, 3 games as part of the Legends Classic. The first game was against the University of Rhode Island. Another tough loss for your squad.
Yeah, you know, went into a little bit of a bee's nest there. You know, Rhode Island had won at the time 31 straight home games, non-conference. They were looking for their first win, and they had played some very tough teams. They had played at Texas, at Nebraska, at George Mason. We know how tough it is to win at George Mason. So they were looking for a win, and we came out of the gate slow and struggled. After the first 10 minutes, we really played very well. I was pleased with a lot of things that we did. We just couldn't get that one extra stop to get it. We got down to 1 possession in the second half, but ultimately their athleticism and size wore us down.
The next game of the weekend, arguably the toughest on paper coming in. Cleveland State, ranked in the top 25 in a couple of polls. You were able to come away with the win against them. Stephen Wanconi getting a career-high 12 points for you.
Yeah, great win for our program, great win for our team, great win for our kids. And you know, a guy like Stephen Wanconi hadn't played a lot of minutes, comes off the bench and gives us a great lift. So I'm certainly very pleased with that. That's going to be a signature win for us, and Cleveland State's going to be an NCAA tournament type team without a question.
In the final game of the week, you take on BU, another tough loss. Your team gets a little bit banged up in the process, and you come up just short again.
Yeah, we are banged up. We were talking off the air about our trip home last night, and we have more ice bags and things on the bus than I can even count. We came up with some injuries, but you know, again, a lot of credit to BU. Joe Jones did a terrific job. We just didn't execute down the stretch. We had another game very similar to Florida Atlantic where we were in position to win the game, and we just couldn't quite get that one extra play, whether it was offensively or defensively, to go down, and we have to learn from that, and hopefully we can and kind of put those in our back pocket as we get ready to play in CAA.
Brian Crowder made his regular season debut this weekend, had some stretches where he played really well. What did you think of his performances?
Well, certainly gives us some size and athleticism off the bench. I think him not playing for a while, he has a little rust on him, much like some of our other guys did starting the year. So I'm looking forward to getting back to practice this week. We have you know, a full week of practice before we play on Saturday, where we can kind of have everybody back. The holidays are over, that 2 tough weeks of travel is over, and we can kind of try to get a little continuity again, and I think that will really help our team.
You brought up the full week of practice. You had such a tough stretch. How happy are you that now you have 5 days off before you have to take on James Madison on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think physically and mentally this team you know, we're going to be off today, and then we'll have the rest of the week here to really get back to practice and have some fresh legs tomorrow, and hopefully enough bodies where we can really have a good practice and string a couple good practices together, get back to working on some things that we need to win games in the CAA and playing a very tough James Madison team coming in here on Saturday.
Is there anyone in particular you're looking to try and fill in the void left by the injuries to Stevie Mejia and David Imes if they're not able to go right away?
Well, you know, I think it's going to be by committee a little bit. Certainly, DeJuan McMillan's going to have to play a lot more minutes at the point if Stevie can't go. You know, we're going to have to get a little bit more help up front with Brian Crowder, Shemai McClendon, Stephen Wanconi, those guys off the bench, and everybody's going to have to be ready to go. And I think that Cleveland State win really proved that we have enough talent, we have enough pieces to compete with anybody in the country when we're doing things the right way.
James Madison's coming up on Saturday. This is called the conference outlier game before you start the full conference late in January. Do you like having this one game in December to kind of get a taste of CAA play, or would you rather have it all grouped together?
You know, I kind of do. I think it kind of gets you away from this early grind of what we've been doing in these preseason tournaments and everything. And you know, this week we can focus and talk a lot about our league, and our ultimate goal is to win games in our league. And so we have a chance to kind of regroup and kind of have a carrot out there in front of us to try to get back on track.
And what are you expecting from the Dukes on Saturday?
You know, I haven't watched them a whole lot. We'll get to work on them starting here this afternoon. I've been, you know, obviously following their scores. I know they have a couple transfers and a couple new players, and obviously a very talented team. We stole one from them up here last year in overtime, so I'm sure they have redemption on their mind as well.
All right, Mo Cassara, head coach of the Hofstra men's basketball team. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you.
And thank you, Hofstra fans, for joining us inside the WB Mason Coaches Report with Mo Cassara.